I got a couple of people that could not come, which is what happens in life, especially we weren't sure that we were going to meet this week, so I understand. Okay, so anybody have any questions before we begin? Anything that's come up either in your life or in your, okay, all right. So if there are no questions, we are going to begin. I had promised that we were going to do, and I think I sent the pages before last week for the prayer for Israel somebody had requested. In the Lev Shalem, it's on page 178. The Sim Shalom, it's on 416, and the Slim Shalom is 149.
Can we have it on the screen also, like last week? That was so good.
I don't think that Beth has it available.
I don't have it on my computer. I just anything in the prayer book.
Right, because I had sent you the attachment. But actually, as an aside, and I forget who it was. I don't think it's anybody that's on now. Lev Shalem is actually available online to download. I think we should get the book anyway if you want to get it, but it is available. I apologize. I'm going to learn for now. I'm going to hope, I don't know. I'm not going to have Beth Wise in my class next time, but I'm going to have to figure out how to do this to share screen. So I'm going to work on that. But
Judi, if you want to stay on for 5 minutes when class is over, I could show you that fast.
Okay. All right. So we're getting to the prayer for the state of Israel. So does everybody have it or not? Yes, good. Okay.
I have it, but I also printed a copy I got off the internet.
Great. Okay, good. Yeah, I noticed I was actually looking because I was looking at one of the other classes just to see how they did things. And they used one of the things from Berman House. But the problem is they don't have the difference with the Kamatz Katana and Gadol. So, which I like in this our Cedar Ream. But yeah. Okay, so if everybody has it, the difference, this is the state of Israel, not the land of Israel. When we in the Torah, we talk about the land of Israel. This is actually for the state of Israel. There are some prayer books that do not include this blessing for the state of Israel, but all the Masorti prayer books do, obviously. I will read it, and it says, Avinu Sheba Shamayim, Thor Yisrael V'Goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Micha Gu'ulatenu, Hagan Alaha V'Vrat Hastecha, Ufros Alaha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orcha V'Yamidcha Rasheha Sa'areha V'Yoatzeha, V'Taknem V'Etza Tova Milfanecha, Hazek et Yidei Migine Eretz Kodshenu V'Hanchilem Eloheinu Yeshua V'Ateret Netzachon Tatrem V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz V'Simchat Olam Le'Oshveha V'Nomar Amen. Okay, so hopefully you do this in your synagogue so you get to practice. I don't know if you do in yours. This is one of the things that fell by the wayside when they tried to make our service shorter because of COVID. Okay, do I have a volunteer? You don't have to read the whole thing. You can just read the first, as much as you want. Celia first.
We do this in English. Avinu
to me, it seems like the prayer, one second, just, I think it's good to reread the prayer for a country in English and some of the other prayers, but to me, it seems like not fair to say the prayer for Israel in English, but whatever.
Avinu Sheba Shamayim.
Good.
Zord Yisrael.
No, but what was that first? That's after Sheba Shemayim. Zor. It's at Tzadi.
Zor. That's what I said.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Vaga Alo Barek et Mi Zanat Yisrael.
Go back. I want you to sound out that word a little better. Barech et.
I'm lost. Barek et me
Medinat.
Medinat.
Good.
Yisrael, Rashit, Zamihat,
Yes.
Ola, Tanu, Hagan,
Again.
Hagen, Leha,
Good.
Evlat, Has, Deka,
Good.
Uf, Rose, Leha, Su, Bat, Shalamecha, Ush, La, or Reka, Ve, Mi, Teka, Le,
Amitcha.
Rasheha,
Good.
Sareha, Ve,
Yep.
Yo, Zeha, Vit, Ta, Nam,
Name.
name, 2 dots. Be,
Yep.
Eza, Tova,
The Eitzah or Eza, if you can't say the study, but it is okay.
Costa, no. Mil, Fa, Neka,
Good.
Ha, Zek,
Yes.
Et, Yi, De, Mi, Gi, Ne, Eretz,
Good.
Kad, Shu, She, Nu,
Good.
Ve, Ham, Ha, He, Lam,
Lame.
Lame,
Good. Good. You corrected yourself. Yes.
Hello, Henu, Yish, Uha, Va, Teret, Ni, Zahon, Ti, At, Rain, Vina, Teta, Shalom, Baaretz, Vesim, Hat, Olam, Le, Yo, Veha,
Good.
No, Mar, Amen.
Good. Exactly. Okay. I got a notice from Beth. She's got it. That woman is amazing. Thank you, Beth. So let's see. I'm going to make you co-host. I put up participants. Why don't I see it? There it is. Beth Moore. Well, like make co-host. There you are. Yes. Right? Are you co-host, Beth? Yep. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we even have a pretty background. Okay. Let's see here. What can I do? I'm frozen? No. Okay. All right. I want to be able to see everybody in the class, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. Okay. Thank you, Celia. Okay. Do I have another volunteer?
Can it be a little bit bigger, please?
Discuss it with Beth. I don't know if she can or not.
Otherwise, I can do it on the internet. Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Did I have a volunteer?
I would like to volunteer.
Yes, Susan. That was
I
you.
think this one goes a lot longer. It
Oh yeah, it looks
stop
like
where
it's
the one
long.
in here stopped. but you can tell us when to stop.
Okay, we'll stop. Okay, we'll see we'll see. I'm going to follow in my book and I'll see if I can figure it out. Okay. Because this is the one in the Siddur is the one that we mostly do. So that's why I usually try to use that. But we'll see how it works. Let's go, Susan. We'll see how it works here.
We do this at ours all the time, and I've never learned it. So that's why I asked for it. Okay.
Well, that's why we try to. Yes, Cindy has a question.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, what are we reading? I'm sorry, I just was able to.
We're reading the prayer for the state of Israel.
Okay,
It's on the screen. If you'd rather use the Siddur, it is in fact on page 178 in Lev Shalem, 416 in the Sim Shalom, and 149 in the Slim Shalom. But it's also on the screen. But I'm going to check because yes, it is not the same prayer. So I just want to make sure that the at least the part that we're reading is the same. So yeah, Susan.
Okay, thanks. Avinu sheba shamayim sur Yisrael vegoalo, right?
Yes.
Barech et Medinat Yisrael. Reshit. Tzmichat
Good.
Geulatenu.
Good.
Hagan.
Again.
Oh, sorry. Hagen. Thank you. Hagen alecha. Yes? Aleha.
Yes, an easy H. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Hagen aleha be'evrat hasdecha. Ufros olecha. No. Aleha. Sorry. Aleha Sukkot shlomecha.
No.
Sukkot.
Thank you.
It didn't sound right. Sukkot shlomecha. Ushlach. Orcha, right?
Yeah.
Ba'amitcha lera osecha. Ha.
No, look at it again.
Oh, sorry. I see that. Lera shecha.
Good.
Ha. Sarecha.
It's not a ch sound. It's just a simple H. No ching. It's just a simple H. It's a reha.
Sareha.
Okay.
V'yo atsecha. Ha. Gosh.
You got in the habit. It's not horrible, but I just want you to know that it is a difference.
I appreciate. That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
V'tak name. Be'etza tova milfanecha hazek. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Hazek et yedei megine eretz kodshenu.
Good.
V'hanhilenu.
Now look at that.
V'hanhilenu.
Look at the end of the word. Does it say Vanhilenu? Does it say Vanhilenu? No.
No. V'hanhilem.
Good.
Eloheinu, I'm all over the place. Eloheinu, Yeshua, Ve'ateret.
No, look at, yes, good.
Okay. Nitzachon, Te'atreim, Ve'natata Shalom, Ba'aretz B'shimchat.
Where's the dot?
Oh, sorry. B'shimchat. Oh,
Good.
I need to get these glasses fixed. Sorry. B'shimchat olam. Le'oshvecha. Aha. Let me do it again.
Just read it, that word again.
Le'osh.
No, there's a yud first.
Le.
Le'yo. It's
Le'yo.
good.
How do you know if it's le'o or le'yo? I don't know.
Because there's the yud is there.
Okay. All right. So now
Even though there's not a vowel under the yud, the O goes with the yud. So it makes it a consonant, not a vowel.
thank you. I didn't realize that. Okay. Le'yoshvecha. Ha.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. I lost it.
I think this might be different because since it continues,
Yeah, that's what.
our book says. I good. Thank you, Beth. You're
Yeah, I was
not
trying to
only does she
find
bring
it.
it up, but she
Thank
gives
you.
us the dot to follow. But ours ends here, and
Okay.
it says Omar Amen,
No more
and
amen.
we say
I was
Amen.
trying to see if the no more amen was at the bottom.
Yeah,
of my
it does.
page,
It
but
doesn't
I don't
say it
even
actually.
see
But
it.
this
Yeah,
is above
it's
your
not.
pay grade, Beth. I'm very impressed here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I don't know where it comes from, but the part we read was exactly the same. So that was really the problem. Does anybody know what Avinu Sheba Shemayim is?
Avinu
Either
is
one of those words.
He knows our
What?
Father.
our Father.
Good.
In the skies,
Shemayim.
in the heavens.
Good, in the heavens. Good. And the Avinu is from the Av or Abba, and the new ending is the first person plural. And in the heavens, when we talk about Shemayim and Aretz, the land and the sky, the heavens. Thank you. Just so a little bit, so we know a little bit about what we're saying.
What's
And
the Sheva? What's the
Judy, I've got a
Sheva?
question. Is there a significance or a meaning to the ha ending? So many of these words end with
Thanks.
ha.
Yeah, it's the verb form, the noun form. And also somebody asked me about the Eve ending, and that actually is also an form. I think it might be third person, I'm not sure, but that is the Eve ending, which we read in a different prayer, is Aramaic, not Hebrew. So that the prayers that are in Aramaic will that have ending.
How do you know which ones are? How do we know which ones are Aramaic and which ones are in Hebrew? How do we know
Usually
that?
the Kadishes are in Aramaic. A lot of the ones that are hard to pronounce are in Aramaic. And bottom line, it doesn't really matter. It's just the Aramaic was the the question is when we talked again about doing prayers in England. Somebody mentioned about the prayer for Israel. I just think since the language of Israel is Hebrew, that it's nice to read that prayer in Hebrew. But the Aramaic, does anybody know why some of the prayers in Aramaic?
No.
Yes, Annalie, you want to answer? I'll give you a chance to unmute. You're not unmuted yet.
Spoken language at that time.
That's right. That was the English of the time. That was the language of the people. So the question is, they made these prayers in Aramaic. In a way, I almost think, and I'm not that radical, and I wouldn't suggest it, that the prayers in Aramaic should really be in English. But I'm not going to suggest that we do that. But
Kaddish is Aramaic.
That's correct.
So
but that's what we don't read it. We never read that in English, as far as I know.
Correct.
I don't know any synagogue that reads it in any of the Kaddishes in English.
Right.
So Judy,
yes.
So Aramaic was the language of the day, like to go to the grocery and all that?
Yeah, like English. Yeah.
And then when Hebrew became, I forget who did it, but
Hebrew was the Lashon Kodesh. It was the holy language.
Holy language.
Right. So they like the Torah is in Hebrew and other things are in Hebrew, but the language on the street was English. Like actually, honestly, and like in the from neighborhoods, Yiddish is the language on the street.
Oh, okay.
Judy, can I
But
give
for
it
us-
after? Can
For
I
us,
say it?
it's English.
Judy,
What, Arlene?
when we get around to it, could I read it?
Yes, absolutely. Any other questions? If there are no other questions, I will have Arlene read.
Are there any
Yes,
other
Arlene.
Are there any other keywords that you would like to give us first?
Okay, I would like to, okay, so we know what shalom is. We know when somebody read chazek, do you know what that comes from?
Chazak.
So either,
Holy,
thank you, good, strength, good. Chazak is strength. And I don't know about you, but there are some places, including my sister's shul, that has a chazak chapter, actually. It's the people over 50. But it means strength. It's actually another one of those numbers that sometimes people use for giving money, or it's a special number like chai, denominations of chai, because chazak is 28 is the numerical equivalent. So sometimes people will give donations of $28 instead of 18.
Yeah, I never heard that.
I never did either. It's 18 or 36 at our temple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so-
usually it's because that's the more common one, but sometimes it's good because it's in between. 28 is it means
Wow.
strength and chazak. Yeah. And the other thing I learned in this shul, which I don't remember from previous shuls, but I don't know if I knew so many females that read Torah. At the end of the book, when we say chazak, benit chazek, we're actually saying that to the reader. And if
Yes.
it's a female that has read Torah, it should not be chazak. It's chizki, 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 benit chazek. And we did it in our shul when we finished the last book we just finished, because it was a female Torah reader. So I learned something new, that it's not for the Torah, it's for the reader.
And how do you say it again? I want to write it in English. I mean, with English letters.
Well,
Chizik.
in Hebrew, and for a male, it's chazak, benit chazek. For a female, it's chizki, chizki, chizki.
Please with an R.
CHZ. Easy. Chizki.
And that's feminine for chazak.
Exactly. Oh, and then just one more thing, and then I'm gonna let Arlene read. I sent you that thing about the being called to an aliyah, and I was not trying to be political. We had talked about how Hebrew is gendered, and the fact of that all of Hebrew is gendered, and how do we try to degenderize it? I forget what the word is, but that fact that in some places they are reading, instead of ben or bat when you're called for an aliyah, they're reading from the house of. So that's why I sent it, because we had talked about it a little bit last week, and and there are people that are dealing with it, and there was a CJLS ruling that you can use the other instead of using ben or bat when you're called for an aliyah.
Judy, how do you say your name? You say your Hebrew name, and then do you say bat, or what do you say?
Yes, my name is Yehudit Rivka Bat David Halevi Vidavora. So I always use both my father's and my Hebrew and my mother's name. The tradition had been to use the father's name when you're called for an aliyah, and the mother's name when you're asking for a prayer of healing. I use them both for both.
Oh,
Me too.
And your name, when you do your Hebrew name, you do your first name and if you have a middle name, but instead of using the last name, you use your parents' first names.
okay. So Bat Shlomo, I'm Shlomo, and then my mother. How do I add the mother on? Is there an and?
The. Would be a vav?
The. So, and the
Yes.
and then my mother's name.
Correct.
Okay, and the
think
rabbi
that
said for healing, he's only using the mother's name, but you can use both.
That's what I said. Traditionally, it's use the father's name when you're called for an aliyah and the mother's name when you're asked for a prayer for healing. To me, I think it makes more sense to use both for both, because first of all, I want to give credit to who I am was from my father and mother. And also, you know, there are men that are very compassionate and healing and whatever. And there's no reason why we should only put our mother's name. If the rabbi, whoever it is, makes a big deal and doesn't want to do it, I wouldn't put it in their face. But if they ask me for the name, I would give both father and mother.
And it's always father first, right?
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
No.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Any other questions before Arlene reads? Yes, Cindy.
I just want to say I'm expecting someone at my door soon, so I.
Okay, if you disappear, I won't worry. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Cindy, do you want to read first then?
Yeah, if I.
Okay, you read and then
Okay, so Cindy, you
I'll
read first.
after you.
I'll
I'll read after
Arlene
you.
read after.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the same? This is the same.
It's the
right?
same prayer,
Okay.
whichever you feel more comfortable reading from.
I'm going to do it in some shalom.
Yeah.
Avinu Shabash, Shabasha Mayim.
Good.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sor Yisrael.
Good.
Bigo Alo Barach Et Medi Nut Yisrael.
Good.
Reshit Shemi Tat. No.
Good.
Shemi
Yes, Michad. That's right.
Yeah. Geula Tenu.
Good.
Again. Aleha Be'evrat Hasdecha.
Good.
Ufros. Aleha Suhat Shalom Mecha Ushlat Lach.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Orcha Ba'amitcha
Good.
Lirasheha Sareha.
Again, it's just a simple H.
Okay. V'yo Atseha Betach Name Be'atsa
Asa. But there are two dots.
Oh, right. Okay. Be'atseha. No.
No, again.
Yeah. Be'atsa.
Be'esa.
Be'esa. I don't know why I can't get that in my head. Be'aseha. Tova. Milfa Necha.
Good.
Hazek. Et. Yedei. McGee. Nay. Eretz. Kadshenu.
It's an O sound.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Code Shenu.
Good.
Vehan Hilaim. Eloheinu. Yeshua.
Good.
Ba'ateret. Nitzehon. Ta'at Raim.
Good.
B'nai Teta.
Now look at the vowels.
Bina Tata.
Perfect.
Shalom. Ba'oretz. The seam. The seam hut.
Good.
Olam.
Good.
Leyosh. Beha.
Good. Yeah.
Benomar. Amen.
Perfect. Good. While you're asking about words, ateret. Does anybody know? There's another form of the word. It's an atara. Does anybody know who's wearing where we have an atara?
Isn't that part of the talit?
Good. That's
The collar.
the collar of the talit. Good. It can be silver. It can sometimes it's the prayer. Sometimes it's just decoration, and it's from the same word, crown. And that's the same word, ateret. Okay. And you know, we see kadosh in this prayer a lot. Tova we know is good. So we know a number of these words. And the simchat olam. Okay, who's going to tell me that hasn't said translation before? What's simchat? You can tell me what it is. Yes.
Simcha, isn't that a holiday? A simcha?
Yeah, actually that's not the holiday. It's
It's a festival of some kind.
It's like Chag Sameach. We say the Sameach part is the joyous. Chag is the holiday. So you're right, absolutely, it's part of that word, but it's actually joyous or when we have a simcha, it's a joyful event, right? Like we thank God we have more simchas hopefully than tragedies. So that's the same thing. It's what it's, and olam is a world or forever. So it says so if you look at the English, you can see it says lasting joy forever. So that's what we're asking for and peace, obviously. And there was some other word. Oh, whatever. It'll come to me at some point. Okay, so that one more. So thank you, Cindy. We're glad we're still with you, but I'm glad you got a chance to read. And Arlene, it's your turn now.
Yeah, I think though before I go, I think everyone needs to be muted. I hear undercurrent when
okay.
I hear somebody else reciting.
You can do that. 1 minute. I'm trying to get rid of this person. Okay, I have it. Okay. Everybody muted now? Okay.
One question of Ahavat Olam means love to everyone or love everywhere. It's not in this, but there's a song we sing. Ahavat Olam Beis Yisrael. What is Ahavat Olam? Can't hear you. You're muted, Judi. Judi, you're muted.
I think somebody, whatever. I was going to do the meeting. Yeah, olam, it's hard to know. It really has two different meanings depending on the context. It's either forever or world. So depending on the context. And those are very different words, I know, but they both are definitions of olam. Okay, now I'm gonna mute everybody, and I muted myself. You can unmute yourself. Let's see. Why didn't I see that? Okay.
Maybe just everybody has to mute themselves. Everyone has to mute themselves because there's definitely a mic that I hear.
It's weird. I went to
hear the echo. I hear the echo.
I went to more things and it doesn't say mute. I don't know why.
So then everybody should mute themselves.
Oh, I can mute it here. Microphone, same as no. Am I not the host anymore?
Oh, is Beth the host?
I don't know. I can't mute. I don't see mute everybody on one of my options.
Everyone should just
okay.
mute.
I thought I request everybody to mute. So this way you can read along, but we don't hear you. Okay, thank you, Arlene.
Avinu Shamayim Sur Israel Bigo Alo Barek Et Midinat Yisrael Reshit Semihat Geulatenu
Good.
Hagain Aleha Be'evrat Hasdecha Uferosh
What?
Alecha.
Wait. One more time. After chastecha.
Uferosh.
Where's the dot? Yes. Thank you. It's there. Yes, you're right.
Rose.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Am
Yes.
I right? No, there's another dot
yes.
there. What's the other
Yes,
dot?
you're right. Frosh. You're right. Why?
But there is a dot on the sin. There is
The
a dot.
other side is on the it's of the O. The other side is the O. I was looking at it wrong. My eyes also need help. Okay.
I know. You're Ufa Roche.
Froze. It is froze. It is froze. I know. You know, it's one of those things that I'm looking at it, but I know what it's supposed to sound like. Yes, it's on the left.
The other dot.
Left side is sinister. Froze. The one on the right is the O.
Okay. Aleha. Sukat. Shalomecha.
Okay, just stop for 1 second. I don't want to interrupt the flow, but you asked about words. Sukkot, and somebody else wanted to read Sukkot because it is the same word. It's shelter. Okay, just when we talk about Sukkot Shalomecha is the shelter of peace. We talk about in that, and it's in songs too. Also, that same sense. I just wanted to. I forgot it. Okay, after Shlomecha, it's you.
Is there another mic on? Ushlach.
No.
Ushlach. Oh.
Yes.
Orcha.
Yeah.
The mitcha lirasecha sarecha.
But wait, you can't read those two the same. Look at them again. Look at the one beforehand.
So it's lira shecha.
Good.
And then it's sareha. Yeah, sareha. V'yo secha.
Try not to. I want people to get in the habit. It's hard for me to hear exactly. It's not a ch. It's just an H.
Ha.
It's a ha. Right.
Ha.
Okay.
V'tak name.
Good.
Sa.
Good.
Tova. Meal. Vanecha.
Good.
Hazek. Et Yudei. Migi Eretz. Kad Shenu V'chav Hilim Eloheinu Yitzuach Va'ateret Nitzachon Ta'at Rain Vinatata Shalom Ba'aretz V'sim Hat Olam
Yes.
L'yosh Veha V'nomar Amen.
Good.
Thank you.
The natata is gives. Notain, if you know any Hebrew, is the Hebrew. Notain is give. Natata is also gives. Please give us peace in the land. Okay.
Thank you.
The natata. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to read this prayer?
Judi, I have a question. When we say
Sure.
Nomar Amen, is that the command form?
And let us say.
Oh, it's let us?
Yeah, Nomar, us. The n is let us.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. It's I don't know what form it is, but that's the translation. It could be let. I don't know if it's us even, but yeah, sure. None is plural. Yeah. Okay. Let us say amen. You'll see that in other places, obviously, also. in other prayers. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All right, we're done with that then. Yes, Eileen, question. Read, you want to read?
Yeah, I'd like to read.
Good, Eileen.
I'd like to try it.
Yes, you can do it. I'm not worried. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got confidence. Avinu Shabashamayim Tur Yisrael V'goalo Barech et Medinat Yisrael Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu Hagen Eleha Be'avara.
No, just look at the vowels.
Be'evarat
Good.
Hazdecha Ufrosh Aleha. Ufrosh Aleha Sukat Shalomecha Ushalach Orcha.
Yes.
Ba'amitecha.
No. Yes. Okay, go. Yes, keep going.
All right. L'ra'asecha sareha
Good.
Viotsea vitach.
Wait. Read it one more time, that word.
Okay. Vioatseha.
Perfect.
Vitach name. Vitach name. Ne'etza tova.
No. Batak name. Then the next word.
Ne'etza.
Good.
Ne'etza tova milfanecha.
Good.
Zech et yedei megine.
Good.
Eretz Kochenu.
Good.
Hilin Eloheinu Yeshua V'ateret Nitzchon.
Wait, but there's a vowel underneath the second letter.
Oh, Nitzachon.
Perfect.
Teret.
No, look at it again. No.
All right. Te'at Reim.
Good.
V'natata Shalom Ba'eretz V'shimchat Olam Lioshveya. And that's where my screen ends.
Venomar.
Venomar Amen.
Good. Perfect. Thank you. See, Eileen, I was right. I'm not always right. That time I was right. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was perfect. Terrific. Okay. Now we have a few minutes. We have 15 minutes left that I don't want to waste. I put down, I got myself some prayers that I wasn't sure whether you wanted to do, go over, or if there's something else you want to do. We could do Havdalah again, or if you want to do, oops, what happened? I got knocked off. Oh, there you are.
I stopped
that was
screen
weird.
sharing. That.
Oh, okay. That was your stop screen sharing. It just went off. It didn't go off. We're okay. Anybody have any requests?
Can we do the prayer before drinking of the wine on Shabbat, on Saturday?
Saturday
Not the
morning?
Friday night, but the Saturday.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna because I don't have the page numbers for that right now. Kiddush Saturday is going to be next week. So if anybody wants to do that, make sure you come back. And I'm going to even try to figure out how to sing it so we can do that. Okay, good. Prayer for Saturday. I'm going to wait for that till next week. Yes, right. Joyce.
So
Joyce.
I know you've told me before, how do you respond after someone has Leah, female, male? I want to write it down in transliteration now so I have it and can pronounce it the right way again.
Okay, and then what I'd like to do, and I don't have my husband has Hebrew on this thing. Maybe I'll send it to you in Hebrew. Somebody says Yasher Koach, and and you say, oh my God. Oh, and you say Baruch Tehiyah. Thank you. I like it left my head. Baruch Tehiyah for a man. Bracha Tehiyi for a female. It's like he's key. The ending. Remember, I said it was key for a woman, so it's Tehiyi for a woman instead of Tehiyah. But if you say Baruch Tehiyah, it's okay too, because that's really accepted as the general thing, but it is masculine.
Would you say them again and emphasize slowly the last part, please?
Baruch, Tehiyah.
Tehiyah.
And I'm going to try to get my husband to put it on his computer, and I'll send it to you as a message. And when I write to you for next week. And for a female, I believe it's Bracha Tehiyi.
So Baruch changes to Bracha for a woman?
Yeah.
And that's to say it to a woman, or it's a woman saying it?
Yes, say it to a woman. It's always because you're the whole thing is you're responding. Like somebody says thank you, you say you're welcome. So this is, you say Yasher Koach, or somebody else says Yasher Koach, and you say Baruch Tehiyah.
Is Yasher Koach, is that Hebrew?
Yes, Yishar Kochach is for a female. Yasher Koach is you should be strong, give you strength. Yasher Koach. That's what people should say to you after you've had an aliyah, or if you've given a great Devar Torah, or if you've led services, or if you've done an aliyah to the Torah, or if you've done Hagba, they say Yasher Koach. Again, Koach. Remember we talked about Koach in 28 before? That's Koach again, the same word.
Oh.
Welcome, Ramel.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay. Life gets in the way sometimes.
Yes.
We all understand that.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. So next week we're doing the Kiddush for Saturday morning. Right now, you know what? We will do, I'm going to suggest my own because I have it written down and I have the page numbers. I give you two options. We'll do it quickly. Either we could do the very beginning of the service where we do the brachot that we say in the morning, or we could do Havdalah. Who chooses?
Beginning of the service.
Okay, beginning of the service it is. Okay, so it's 65 in the Slim Shalom. I know that because we do that in our shul. And I thought this was going to be easy morning service because it's at the very beginning of any Siddur. Not of the Siddur, but of the service, I should say.
Left Shalom is 103.
103, I was almost there. Almost there. 103 in Lev Shalem. And does anybody have anything else that we don't know the prayer? Oh, this one. I think it's page 10 in the Sim Shalom. I'm used to that one we did for a long time. So I think it's page 10. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, page 10 in the Sim Shalom. Okay, everybody have it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to read them and then I'm going to ask for volunteers. This is evidently they used to say these prayers at home, and they used to say it as they were doing things. Like when they say one of them is give sight to the blind because you open your eyes, and clothe the naked, you get dressed. It's all the things in the morning that you're appreciative of. But what happened is, why do you think they have them in the shul now?
To get people to get into the shul.
That's a good answer, to get them in. There's another answer.
Maybe people weren't saying them.
Thank you, Joyce. You got your hand on the pulse. That's exactly right. They weren't saying them at home, so they moved it into the shul. Exactly. Okay.
Really?
So, yeah, but not everybody was pious in the old days. We think, everybody before us, they did everything correctly. We don't. But before also. So I'm going to I'll read several of them, and then I'd like to have a volunteer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. The first one is the hardest. I'm just telling you this already. Asher natan l'sechvi vina lahavchin bein yom ubein laila.
Morning.
It's the difference between when you open your eyes and you can see the difference between day and night. Bain is different. It's between Yom, and we do that. We talk about that in Havdalah also. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorin. You'll see in your book it will say ben or bat. A male says ben, a woman says bat. Because that's really specifically male or female. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Okay. So there's one difference and I'm going to ask for questions where we talk about in the second one, made me in his image, and the not original, I won't say original, but before the Masorti movement, it said, thank me for not making me a woman. Okay. So they will tell you the reason they said that is it's not sexist, but it was because I have all these obligations and women don't have obligations. But whatever it is, we decided that's not really appropriate anymore. So the Masorti movement has changed that particular prayer. So do I have any questions? And then I'm going to ask for a reader. Yes, Celia.
Yeah.
Remember, you have to unmute yourself.
I just wanted to read.
Okay. So Celia, okay, Celia first, then Anne-Lee, you want to read also?
I wanted to ask a question, please.
Sure. Yeah.
Where does Modeh Ani come in? When we first awaken?
That you may do at home when you first get up. It's, as far as I know, it's not in the service anywhere. There may be some places that do it. That's something you do at home.
Thank you.
Before the introductory part of the service. This part that we're reading now begins the introductory part. It's like my husband will say, it's like, you don't go up to bat without, practicing first.
Warming up.
Before you get to the main part of the service, which is the Shema and the Midah and the Torah service, we have to get ourselves prepared. So that's what this part is. So Celia, I think you were the one, right? You volunteered?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sechli
Good.
vina.
Yes.
Lehavchin bein yom ubein la. La.
Read that word again.
La.
Put it together.
La.
Again. Lila. Yom and Lila. Okay. Nighttime. Lila Tov. Good night.
I've got.
Okay.
Lila. Okay, because there's a yod in there.
Yeah, Lila.
Okay. Laila.
Okay. Now you can continue.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam She'asani
Good.
Zalmo.
It's Betalmo. The tzadi. Good.
Baruch
Okay.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bein bat ha.
No, you skipped down.
No, that's
I
what.
think.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani.
Oh, I got it. I got it. It's different. It's a different order. You're reading from Lev Shalem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Keep going.
Oh,
I realize it's different.
Thank
Good.
you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ho-ke-hi.
I'm sorry, that truck went by. I didn't hear the word.
Ho-ke-hi.
No, this is the only one where the vowel is before the consonant. Pokeach.
Pokeach.
Good.
Avrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Good. Okay. Do I have anybody else that wants to read those prayers? Okay, Arlene, it's up to you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nata la sechvi vina lechav hin beit yom.
What was that? What was that?
Bain.
Good.
Bayom uvein lila.
Good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani be'al mo.
No. It's a tzadi.
Oh, it is? Bisalmo.
Yep.
Bisalmo.
Good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben bat horim.
Good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch
Okay.
atah.
It's 1 minute. It's She'asani, and you realize it's the same word every time. She'asani.
She'asani.
Okay, who made me? She'asani. Oseh, who made me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my class. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam fokeach ivrim.
Good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malvish.
Vish. It's a dot. There's a dot, right?
Yeah. Malvish. Vish. Malvish. Malvi. And then doesn't it have the
Malvish, because there's a dot in it.
Mal.
Yes.
Oh, bish. Malbish.
Yes, good.
Rumim.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
But
see, you could read, I know you know it, but if you look at it, you know all the beginning parts. So you got half the bracha before you even start. Anybody else?
Judi, question, what does uvein mean?
Between.
Between, thanks.
Like in Havdalah, you have a lot of uveins between in a lot of places. Between the holy and the profane, it's between.
So that.
I just have a question or a comment. That it says who gives sight to the blind, but it says uvrim, and that's Hebrew, isn't that, rather than Jew?
Let me see.
Second to the last line.
I'm saying, let me see, light and divine image with Talmo, that's his image. Pocheach Hevrim is freedom. Yisrael. The Jew part is Shasani Yisrael.
Oh, mine says
Ivrim is after. You know what? They have, it's not the freedom, and then the Jew who comes after. Shasani Yisrael, no?
Okay, so
Bat Chorin is being a free person. Bat Chorin.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay. I thought that was from Ivrit, which is Hebrew.
No, Chorin is
my error.
free.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. No, and just I know you're reading both just because, but a male reads Ben and a female reads Spot. So we don't read both of them. Okay, it is 11:04. I just realized. So thank you. Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to try to get those other things in Hebrew so you don't have to use transliteration. We're going to do the Kiddush next week. I think we'll do Friday night also, but we'll do Saturday morning to start with.
We bring wine because it's our last week, so we can drink some wine at the same time.
Oh, sounds like a plan to me. If we're doing Kiddush, you know.
Yeah, right.
You know, you're not supposed to do a bracha levat chala, which means in vain. But the only thing is you are allowed to do a bracha to teach, even if it's not appropriate. Okay, so you're not allowed to do it just some, but if you're teaching, you can do it. So it's all right. You don't have to drink wine, but it doesn't hurt, but you don't have to. Otherwise, you can't. Thank you. Oh, good for you. Now you can do Birkat Hamazon. You've got it in there.
Yes. But I still would like the one that you're sending.
I haven't been able to get the cards yet. I will still because of the move from Women's League. But yes, it is the same version that's in the calendar diary, which I haven't gotten yet. But I really like that calendar diary a lot.
It is. It's the first time I bought one.
Yeah, it's very nice. I like it because it has the month. I can put just the things, and then I have places for notes and whatever. Yes, I reckon.
Candle lighting times.
Exactly, candle lighting, and also the parsha, if you want to know that.
Yeah.
And when it's Rosh Chodesh and all that stuff. Yes, Susan.
Judy, I have a question. I have a medical appointment next week, and I have to miss. When you record, can you send that to someone? Like, can you send it to me?
Do it.
You can access it. I don't need to send it to you. You can access it yourself.
How?
You go to the Women's League website, you log in, you go to materials, I think, or Women's League materials or something. And then one of the things that comes up is Hebrew classes. And then you click on spring 2022. And then you click on my class. And then you click on the date. If you have a problem, let me know.
Because I'm sorry, but I can't change that appointment.
Yeah, it's okay. Life gets in the way. I understand. And I will miss being with you.
Me too.
And then everybody else, I'll say goodbye next week. But everybody, a Shabbat Shalom. I think I told you last week, there will be one more class next semester. There will be a class. They may do a plus class if after this, depending on if they have the teachers. And we'll see what happens, but that's the situation. So
how will we know? How will we know what to sign up for, or you'll let us know?
Hopefully, Julia will let us know, and I know I'll let you know. Okay. Anyway, everybody, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.